I kind of started laughing in disbelief. I don't know if it was I think it was a nervous laugh. But you know what? I realized I'm like, you can't fight these feelings. You have to allow them to come out.
Okay, Clayton, tell me how you're feeling as you prepare to watch this journey back. Based on the trailer, it seems like we're in for a doozy.
That's a good word to choose. Yeah. There's plenty of words that you can pick. Chaotic. It's wild. Yeah. I mean, it's like to see the promos, obviously I lived through it, but, I'm ready to watch it back. There's certain things that I wasn't there 24/7 around all the women. So, I'm going to see things for the first time myself. And, I'm excited to see like what that looks like. Obviously I heard a lot of like the drama that I wasn't present for, but now I'm like, okay, maybe I'll catch somebody that told me a story that maybe doesn't exactly match up with what I see. So, we'll see how that goes, but I'm looking forward to watching it.
Also in the trailer, we find out that you fall in love with at least 3 women, and you tell them. Did you have any rules with yourself going in about whether you were going to use that word or how you were going to try to navigate that? Because we've seen over the years, people kind of either decide they're not going to say it or say it. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I actually used absolutes, which I no longer use anymore because this whole experience taught me not to. But I did. I remember the first day I went in, I said, I will not fall in love with multiple people. And like, I was so serious about it. And then, then the journey began and I was just battling with it mentally. I'm like, no, there's no way. And then I finally came to terms with it. And I was like, you know what, quit fighting these feelings, because if you do fight the feelings, you're going to hold back. And then that's going to cause these women to potentially put up their walls. So, I remember one day it hit me and I was like, I'm falling in love with multiple women. And I kind of started laughing in disbelief. I don't know if it was I think it was a nervous laugh. But you know what? I realized I'm like, you can't fight these feelings. You have to allow them to come out.
What can you tell me about the decision to announce to your finalists that you were intimate with 2 of them at a rose ceremony?
The thing is like obviously you guys see the promo. I mean, the what was shown, it's like, it was upsetting for the women to hear it. And rightfully so. I understand that. My big thing is I'm someone who's very transparent, and I know that there's questions of, why did he say this? But again, like, just understand that, once the show airs, that whole scene will play out and there will be an explanation and people will then understand, or at least, they'll be able to see the full picture of what actually happened in the way that it did. So I know there's a lot of questions right now. And I get it, right? You see a clip and you go, what was that about? Well, there will be answers in due time. I think just everyone has to, have a little bit of patience, and I promise there will be answers.
I can't wait. Do you have any regrets about how you handled the season? You kind of hinted at maybe with your using absolutes. Would you say maybe that was something you would go back and do differently, or you just learned from it?
Yeah, I think for me, I realized that I'm like, I can't say that I have any regrets, because if I would have done things differently, would it have been my 100% authentic journey? And I think the answer to that's no. So what I did in every moment while I was there was what I thought was right. Does that mean it was right? Probably not. No. I mean, I definitely was not perfect. I did some things wrong, but I did everything under my own volition and what I thought was best. And so for that, I'm like, you know what? You stayed true to yourself, and you develop some battle scars along the way, but that's just what life is.
Another clip that's kind of making getting a lot of attention is the question of has anyone ever taken a rose back before? Can you tease to me anything about what goes down there?
I will just say that obviously, I said that because that thought crossed my mind. Now, whether or not I acted upon it, that's what everyone's gonna have to wait and see. But there were many moments throughout the journey where I was shocked, and I was just kind of asking Jesse sometimes these questions of like, is this something that I can do? Because this is how I feel. I mean, ultimately, I was just navigating my love journey the way that I felt was right.
You mentioned Jesse. It's been a minute since he handed out roses, but he has before. What was the best piece of advice he gave you? How did you guys get along?
Well, Jesse and I got along. I mean, so great. I keep telling everybody, like, we're like brothers. We really are. We're constantly texting each other, just checking in. He's somebody that, because we have very similar backgrounds, he resonated with me very quickly. And I think the biggest thing he told me was just stay true to yourself. And it's not this mind-blowing advice, but it was so relevant. It's like, don't try to be anybody else. Just do this the way that you think is right. And at the end of it all, you'll be thankful that you did. And you can't really you can't have any regrets at that point if you are just who you try to, just be yourself all the way through. So that was, he gave me a lot of advice, but that was obviously the most, the one that I took to heart and realized I had to stick with.
And then, obviously this season, it came out a little differently of people finding out you were the Bachelor before we even met you on Michelle's season. What would you tell critics who maybe were questioning why you got the gig, and what can they look forward to?
I think, everybody has a lot of questions, right? And rightfully so. I've read everything online, so I know what's being said. People saying, oh, we don't know his personality. And so why did he get picked? And, I will say this, I will get a little bit more airtime, I think it's safe to say, on my side of things here. So my personality will come out. And I think people will see it for what it is. And I'm excited. I just ask that people obviously be patient and give me that shot. But I know that, again, I don't know all the reasons why I was chosen, but I can say that, again, I think the producers saw me as someone who really was wanting to find love. And so they're like, this is somebody that, again, we believe in, that's here to take this seriously. And I was, and I did. So I was just so very thankful to be offered the position to be the Bachelor.
All right. Well, after that trailer, I personally cannot wait. Thank you so much, Clayton. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll talk to everybody at ABC next week with Michelle. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sarah.